Hey guys, welcome back to Pinehaven Acres. So today I'm going to be showing you how I do my chores and all the animal updates. So first off, we have some supplies in the back of the truck and we're going to run that down to the rabbits. So we've got some bedding in here, we've got some quail food, some chick food, and some adult chicken food down there at the bottom. Now it's time to feed the bunnies. So the type of food that I use is FPC commercial rabbit pellets. This is from the Heinold Feeds brand. And as you can see, it has 16% protein, 3% fat, and 25% fiber. And so far, the bunnies have been really happy with this feed. They've done really well on it. So the sunflower seeds are going to this chocolate silver fox family. This helps the mom produce more milk and helps her conditioning. And it also helps the babies get bigger. They've kind of spread out their bedding throughout the whole cage, so I'm going to have to clean that out today. We have 4 little chocolate babies in this litter. Alright, so I always start with the pellets first. Just because it goes faster, and sometimes my hands get wet when I'm doing the water and I don't want to get any of the pellets wet. So for my rabbits I do, excuse the rooster here, little quail rooster. He's being quite loud this morning. So for the rabbit pellets regarding measuring, for my small breeds like the Holland Lops, they are between 2 to 5 pounds. I give them half a cup of pellets. And then my commercial breeds, so the New Zealands and the silver foxes, they get 1 cup of pellets. It'll vary for all of these depending on the individual rabbit, if they're lacking in conditioning or if they eat a lot but they're not overweight, things like that. Then I'll change up the measuring, but in general. And then for my Flemish Giants, I give them 1.5 cups. But again, especially for the Giants, it'll vary. I have a doe that's humongous. She's probably about 18 pounds. She eats almost 2 cups of pellets. So yeah, we're going to get started on feeding them pellets. For my litters, I free feed them. So I give them as much pellets as they can eat. And that way they all get fed and they can have the most growth potential. I'll show you these guys. They're looking really cute. This is a Holland Lop litter. And we have 6 babies. This litter was a new breeding that I did. I bred my opal doe to my broken tort buck. And this was just an experiment. Usually you shouldn't breed those colors together. But I got a blue tort right over here. I got a solid blue, a broken opal. That one's really pretty. And then I got a broken tort, same as the dad, a chestnut, and a salad tort. So very fun colors out of this litter. And they are actually going to be for sale this Saturday. And in the future, if you're ever wanting to purchase any of our rabbits, check out our website. Next, we're going to hand out some hay. This I give every couple of days to the adult rabbits and every single day for the babies. This is purely a digestive aid. It's not really for nutrition purposes. That's what the pellets are for. But this helps move everything along in their system. If they're only eating pellets, then it's kind of like sludge in their stomach. And when you add fiber like hay, it helps create like a texture and move everything along smoothly in their system, overall making them a healthier rabbit. So I get this from a local farmer. It's a mix of grasses. There's a little bit of alfalfa in it, but it's mainly a Timothy grass mix. Alfalfa should only be fed to nursing moms and young babies. Once they get about 4 months old, they don't really need it. There's a lot of sugar and calcium in alfalfa, and if it's given especially to adult bucks, it can create bladder sludge, which is an issue. So yeah, we're going to hand this out. Another thing to note when you're giving rabbits hay is try to avoid putting it by their bathroom area and away from their water, so that it stays clean and they can eat it while it's fresh. At this point in the chores, I also let the chickens out. They can free range in the grass and find all the bugs they want to eat. I have a litter of rabbits in the chicken coop in this cage right here, and then the quail are up there. So once I get to feeding the rabbits in this area, I let the chickens out. And last thing for the rabbits is to give them fresh water. I fill up this 5-gallon bucket, and then I also fill up the water bottles separately. Some have water bottles, some have bowls. In the winter time, I only use bowls. And then I also have this dish up here, and this is what I use to scoop the fresh water into everybody else's water containers, just to keep everything more sanitary. So yeah, let's fill this up. So a lot of times in the morning, the water bowls will look like this. It's really nasty water. There's a ton of fur in there, and especially this group of bunnies, there's a lot of fur because she pulled out fur to make her nest, so it kind of flies everywhere. We have some wood shavings in there. Sometimes there's hay. So it's always important for me to rinse it out before I refill it, and that way they can get the freshest water. So I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed. Pull that out, dump it. So this is my clean bowl, so this never touches any of the other water containers, never goes into the rabbit cages. It's just for transporting the water. Put a little bit in there. We'll rinse it out a little bit and then put it back in the cage. There we go, they're all done. I also decided to wean the Opal Howlnop doe from her babies. Her babies are about 8 weeks old right now. I kept one with her to help dry up her milk, and it looks like they're both doing great. Alright, so we're done with the rabbits, and now we're going to move on to quail and chickens. This is my quail food. It's a layer mash, so it's basically a powdered feed with little bits of oats and sunflower seeds and corn. And they seem to really like that, and their eggs are looking great. So, this is my first grouping of quail. They are housed in a rabbit hutch. The top level is pine shavings, and then the bottom is wire floor, but I line it with pine needles, and they like to nest in that. I've got 5 pearl females in here, and then they're soon going to be put in with a Italian male. So I already watered them. I just have to feed them and collect the eggs. This is usually where they lay their eggs. Looks like I have 2. They're very pretty blue and brown. And then they have 2 waters. This first one here, ignore the sign, there's not 3 quail in there. There's 5. The first water here is a heated water bottle. It's not plugged in right now, but this is what I'll use in the winter. They haven't quite figured out how to use it yet. I've only had them for a couple weeks. The other quail that I have used this water bottle no problem. So they have been using this other water bottle there with the jar. And then I have this feeder that I made. I don't think I'll be able to pull it out, but there's angle pieces on the inside to help the feed go down to the bottom, and then there's holes cut into the front. Here is my Italian male. So he's got a big dust bath and then his food and water. And then this is my other quail setup. This is for my jumbo farrow quail. There are 4 girls and 1 boy in this cage. It's right on top of my big rabbit hutch here. And then that section still has to be finished, so then I can move my Italian and pearls into there. So they have a dust bath / nesting area in here with their water, and then their food is on the outside area. It's all wire floor except for the inside there. And you can see the cord coming out. This is their heated water bottle. That'll be hooked up for the winter. And these girls are a little frazzled looking. The lighting's not too good in here, but this feeder is similar to the other one. There's some angled pieces and then holes in the front of it. So I'm going to fill that up. One thing with quail is that you never want them to run out of food and water. So I only let this get down to halfway, and then I fill it all the way up. And then we also need to collect some eggs. Looks like there's one right here on the edge. We'll let her run out. And then we can get the eggs. There we go. It's always fun trying to find the eggs. There's one right there. Right here. So 3 eggs today. Not too bad. Oh, and this is the water container. So you just push this and then the water comes out. And what I did to attach it is it came with this piece that hang on to like wire. But I took 90-degree angle pieces here and just clip it on. So to take it off, it's pretty easy. Do that. Then you can fill it back up and then just put it back on. Alright, so for the chickens, I'm just going to check their water, which it was almost empty. So I have it out here in the grass. We're going to fill it up. And then I'm going to check the food. I free feed my chickens, so that looks good. And then collect the eggs. It's 1 egg and 2 more. They just started laying about 2 weeks ago, so not all are laying eggs yet. Alright, I'm gonna go fill up the water and then get back to you. Clean water for the chickens is done, so now we are officially done with chores. It's 12 o'clock right now and I'm a little hungry, so I might go make some lunch. It only took about 45 minutes to an hour to do chores today. On some days when all of the water bottles are full and the chicken and quail are all good with water, I can get chores done in about 20 minutes. But today everybody needed their water containers filled up. And I think later today we're going to go check out the garden. I got a late start on chores today because I was foraging. The goldenrod is in season now. And I got the last of the St. John's wort to make some tinctures. So we'll see you inside. So I have a huge garden update for you guys. As you can see, our garden has expanded quite a bit since the last video that I showed the garden, and that was in the spring, I believe. So we were able to get a pile of wood chips from our county. and expand the garden. The first plant that you would see when you go into the garden are these sunflowers. They are super tall, and none of them have the sunflower head on top yet, but they are at least 12 feet tall at the highest. So those are on the whole front border here, all the way across. And then on these two entrances, we have morning glories, and then this purple flower is a weed that just came up, and it chose the perfect spot too. So we'll walk into the garden. We have more sunflowers along the right side of the path, and then this was just a wild butterfly mix. So to the left, we have some rows here. I've got cabbage in this far one. The rest of them are empty. And then I have tomatoes along the back wall and peppers in front. Walking down this way, we have more morning glories on these two. And this is my potato bed. I already harvested them for this year. So now I have a few onions left in there. I've got other onions along the sides of most of these beds here. And then more sunflowers and some zinnias. We had a random sunflower pop up here in the middle. That one's getting quite large too. Then coming to the back, this is my herb garden. I have oregano right here. Then I have some snap peas that were growing up this that are done for the season. I have feverfew behind it. I've got mint mixed in here, basil, a few carrots, thyme. All of this stuff here is thyme. I've got chamomile with the white flowers. Sage is behind it. I've got lavender behind that. We have some kale here, some chives, and then I have some colorful pole beans growing on the back. Over here is my sister's flower garden. She mostly has zinnias growing in here. I've got some more little tomatoes growing in the back there. Coming this way, this is my mom's garden. She has lettuce, carrots, beans, and tomatoes. And then we have a bunch of cucumbers, zucchini, pumpkins over here. Then we've got a little patch of corn, sweet corn. And this will be ready in a couple weeks. And that is our garden. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.